My beloved child, there are nights unlike any other nights when the air grows thick and still, when it feels as though the entire universe is holding its breath, waiting for something sacred to unfold. On that night, what has been hidden will be revealed, what has been broken will be healed, and the promises that seem to have died will rise again. This is not the end, it is the beginning. A night chosen by God Himself, when everything in your family and within your soul must bow before my glory. Prepare yourself, for the divine night is coming, and it will not only touch your home, it will awaken the very depths of who you are. The divine night is a night etched into the history of the soul, when heaven and earth meet, when I step into human space to shake what has lain dormant for too long. It is not a night of coincidence, but of divine design. Not a night of chaos, but of new order. You may not see me with your eyes, but you will sense my footsteps in every breath you take. When all the noise of the world fades, when the city falls into silence, when only your heartbeat echoes in the quiet room, then you will know heaven is moving. I do not come in thunder or storm, but in the gentle breeze that passes through the place where you once knelt to pray. I do not break down the door, I simply knock. I do not force, I invite. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. That voice still resounds through the night, moving through walls, slipping into the hidden corners where your heart has been hiding. My beloved, you think I am silent. You think I am distant. But child, it is when you hear nothing that heaven works most deeply. When every lamp has gone out, when you sit in the dark with trembling hands and a weary heart, I am more present than ever. I have watched every step you've taken along the dusty paths of this world. I have seen you trying to hold a smile long after your tears ran dry. I have seen you tossing through sleepless nights, whispering, "Father, do you hear me?" And I have heard. Not one sigh of yours is forgotten. Every tear you've shed has fallen into my hands. The divine night is not a storm sent to destroy, it is a wind sent to stir. I shake not because I am angry, but because I love. For sometimes only through shaking can a sleeping soul awaken. You have lived too long among false lights, pretending to be strong while your soul grows faint. I do not want you merely to survive. I want you to live. That is why I enter your home, not to judge, but to illuminate. I come to restore divine order, to cut loose the invisible cords that have been choking your spirit. When I step in, all that is hidden must come to light. The secrets you fear to face, the wounds you've tried to cover, the memories you thought you'd buried, all will be touched by me, not to cause you pain, but to make you whole. I will enter the darkest rooms of your heart, the ones where you hid your fears, where you said, "I'm fine," while you were breaking inside, and there I will speak, "Let there be light." When my light enters, darkness loses its power. The divine night is the night when spiritual chains break, lies are silenced, and truth begins to speak. I know facing the truth is not easy. You've carried burdens that were never meant for you, trying to please everyone, trying to keep everything together while you were falling apart. But this divine night does not come to crush you. It comes to free you from what you could not face alone. Sometimes healing begins the moment you whisper, "Father, I'm tired." When you let go, I begin to work. When you grow silent, I begin to speak. When you stop running, I begin to lead. Let me cleanse the house of your soul. Let me enter the kitchen where you sighed, the room where you wept alone, the corner where you prayed, believing heaven could not hear. I am there not to remind you of failure, but to return hope. Let your tears fall, for I will use them to water new seeds within you. Every shattered piece I can use to create something new. Nothing is wasted in my hands. And when my light shines, the things you once feared to face will become the very things you thank me for. For I do not only repair, I transform. I do not just mend, I make new. The divine night will reveal that what you thought was loss was preparation for something greater. The closed doors were not rejection, they were redirection. The dreams that died were not endings, they were seeds awaiting. My breath of life, my child, the divine night is not merely a visitation, it is a covenant. This is the night I reaffirm the promise between you and me that I will never leave you even when you lose your way. I do not come to demand, but to give. I do not come to condemn, but to renew a covenant of love. You have carried many wounds, but from those very wounds my light will shine forth. You once thought I was far away, but the truth is I never left your side. The hands marked by nails are still reaching for you. and when you open your heart, you will feel the warmth of unconditional love. Remember, I did not choose you because you were perfect, but because you were willing. I do not need your strength, I need your trust. When you believe, mountains move. When you believe, my word becomes reality. When you believe, miracles cease to be rare, they become your daily breath. My child, I am breathing new life into old dreams, into hopes that once faded into prayers you thought were lost in the wind. Every breath you take now carries heaven's life within it. I make this covenant with you after the divine night, nothing will remain the same. The way you see life, the way you love, the way you pray, everything will be transformed. For you will no longer walk in shadows, but in my light. You will no longer speak words of fear, but words of faith. You will no longer bow your head in shame, but lift it high in the righteousness I have given you. Tonight your soul is marked not by pain, but by grace. And when I mark, no power in heaven or earth can erase it. When the first light touches your window, you will realize that I have been there all night long. In the sound of the wind, in the tears that fell in every fragile breath, you were never alone. The appointed night does not end in fear, but in peace. This dawn does not merely mark the close of another night, it marks the beginning of a new era within your soul. You will awaken changed, not because your circumstances have shifted, but because you have. You will begin to see the sacred within the smallest things, and the ordinary will become radiant with my presence. From this moment on, live as one who has encountered the Father in the appointed night, walk in awareness. Let that light continue to shine through every day you live. When the world says impossible, remember heaven has already said it is done. When fear surrounds you, remember you have seen me walk through the darkness. When doubt rises, remember I once called your name in the night. The appointed night is not merely a memory, it is a seal, a reminder that you are never alone. My child, your dawn has come. Open the window and let the light pour in. Let the morning birds sing the song of restoration. Take a deep breath and know you are living within the will of heaven. Go forth and share this light with others, for the world still drifts in shadows and they must see in you the mark of the appointed night, the night when God Himself stepped into your home to heal, restore, and renew all things. And finally, I speak to you, do not be afraid. I have chosen you, I have called you, and I will complete what I have begun. The appointed night is not the end, but the promise that I am still at work. Everything you have endured, every pain, every tear, every battle lies within my perfect design. Now rise, walk in the light of dawn, for something new is emerging. And you, my beloved child, are the living proof that heaven is still moving upon this earth. I know there were nights when you lay there staring at the ceiling in silence, thinking of what was of dreams unfulfilled, of prayers still unanswered. You thought I did not hear, but I was right there. I was in your breath, in the sobs you tried to hide, in the tears that no one saw. When you call upon me, I will answer you. I will be with you in trouble. I will deliver you and honor you. Psalm 9:115. My child, the appointed night did not come to take away, it came to return what was lost, your faith, your peace, your inner light. When the appointed night began, there was no thunder, no loud miracle, only a breath, a warmth within your heart, a quiet knowing that whispered, I am here. You may not see me with your eyes, but your soul knows. Like an oil lamp in a small room, that light began to glow gently within the thick darkness. I did not come to destroy the storm, but to walk with you through it. I did not come to change every circumstance at once, but to change you from within, to teach you to see me, even when the winds still blow and the waves still roar. For only when you learn to see me in the midst of the storm will you truly know who I am. Do you remember the last time you prayed with all your heart, not with rehearsed words, but with a cry rising from the deepest place of your soul, where pain meets faith and silence meets grace? That is where heaven touches earth. Every word you spoke through your tears never disappeared. They rose like incense, reaching me, and I recorded each one in the book of heaven. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm 3:4-18. I know every wound, every disappointment, every dream you thought had died for. I was there when you fell, and it was my hand that lifted you up. The appointed night is the night I came, not in overwhelming glory, but in profound peace. While the world slept, I whispered to your soul, do not be afraid, for I am with you. You may not understand why you had to walk through such barren seasons, why those you trusted left, or why you carried burdens beyond your strength. But my child, what you call tragedy, I call preparation. For only when the night grows deep enough does my light shine bright enough for you to see the true path. You thought you were losing everything, but in truth you were being reborn. My child, I never abandon the house I have chosen to dwell in. That house is your heart. Perhaps you have allowed it to be covered in dust, worry, fear, disappointment, but I still stand at the door gently knocking, waiting for you to open. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and dine with him. Revelation 3:20. Open the door, my child. Do not fear letting me see the cluttered room within your soul. I have not come to condemn, but to cleanse. I have not come to shame, but to restore. Let me in, and I will fill the emptiness with peace again. I will rekindle the flame. I will reorder what has been scattered, and I will make your heart my dwelling once more. For the appointed night was never about darkness. It was about the moment you realized that light had been standing at your door all along, waiting to enter. Not to condemn, but to heal. The night of divine appointment is when I step across that threshold, and in the instant you whisper, "Father, please stay," heaven ignites with light. I behold my children, those who run endlessly in the rhythm of the world, caught in the chase of work relationships and fears about tomorrow. You too once lived that way, waking up with a weary heart, rushing through breakfast, hurrying to work, and returning only to reach for your phone instead of prayer. But the night of divine appointment comes to stop that restless motion. It is the moment I place my hand upon your shoulder and say, "Enough. You do not need to run anymore. You only need to rest in me." And as your breath slows, you will hear the rhythm of my heart, the heartbeat that has loved you since the beginning of time. You do not realize that I chose that moment, the night, the room, the sound of wind outside your window, and even the loneliness within your heart. For only in emptiness can I fill you. You cannot find me in the noise, but in stillness you will know that I have never left. The night of divine appointment does not come to entertain or stir fleeting emotion, but to awaken you from the slumber of vanity, from the intoxication of the world, and to bring you back to your truest essence, the child made in my image. And when you awaken, you will see everything around you as if transformed, not because they have changed, but because you have. The place that was once pain will become a lesson. The scar that once bled will become a mark of grace. The failure that once crushed you will become the doorway to victory. The night of divine appointment is not the end, but a gate opening into a new season, a season of understanding, of peace, and of unconditional love. My beloved child, I know you have questions left unanswered. You ask, why did it have to hurt so much? You ask, why didn't you intervene sooner? But my child, I was not silent to abandon you, but to teach you how to listen. For sometimes in the storm I do not shout to drown out the wind, I whisper, so that you must draw closer. And when you draw near, you will discover that I was never as far as you thought. I am in your very breath, in every heartbeat, in the eyes of those who love you, in the smile of a stranger, in the song of morning birds. I am everywhere, simply waiting for you to open your heart to recognize me. When the night of divine appointment passes, do not think it is over. Let it live within you. Every day you step forward, every time you forgive, every time you pause to listen to your soul instead of the noise of the world, that is when you are continuing the night of divine appointment. It is not an event, but a state of the soul, a constant awareness that I am with you. When you sit beside your morning tea and whisper, "Thank you, Father, for today," when you gaze at the sunset and softly say, "I know," you are here when you pray, not merely with your lips, but with your heart. That is when the night of divine appointment still continues. I call you my child, not merely to remember that night, but to live in it every day. For this world is drowning in slumbering souls, hearts busy yet hollow, faces smiling yet void of peace. I need you, the one who has been touched, awakened, and transformed, to carry that light to others. Tell them that the night of divine appointment is not for one, but for all who long to encounter me. For when even one heart is touched, all of heaven rejoices. And finally, my beloved, remember this: the night of divine appointment is not a story about darkness, but a story about light. It is not about the path you walked, but about the hand that held you. It is not proof of your weakness, but the testimony of my power. When heaven touches earth, the miracle is not in the thunder or lightning, but in the quiet moment when you whisper, "Father, I believe." In that sacred instant, heaven and earth intertwine and your heart beats in harmony with mine. Do not fear when you have yet to see what I promised fulfilled, for my word never returns void. There are promises reserved for your family waiting to unfold at the appointed time when your faith has matured enough to receive their blessing. There are destinies that seem delayed, but, my child, they have never been denied. I am simply rewriting your story with the ink of patience and trust. I have not forgotten a single word spoken over your bloodline, for every promise I utter is sealed with my name. Take heart, for delay is not denial. It is my way of preparing you and your family to fully embrace what I have ordained. You do not see it, but even now, angels have been stationed around your home. They are not ornaments of beauty, but servants of holy mission. They are warriors of light positioned around your bed as you sleep, at your doors, around your table, and in the places where you once prayed through tears. They do not sleep, tire, or tremble, for they bear the command of my glorious throne. Every prayer you utter, no matter how small, becomes a weapon in their hands. When you say, "Father, protect my family," all of heaven moves. When you sigh in weakness, they hear and immediately raise an invisible wall around your home. My child, do not think I am silent. Even when you feel nothing, I am still working. There are things unfolding in the spiritual realm that your eyes have not yet seen. Battles are being waged in the unseen, where my angels fight against the forces of darkness that seek to touch your home. They fight for your marriage, for your children's future, for every promise I have spoken over your lineage. Every prayer you lift, every tear you shed is recorded as evidence of faith, and I am answering. Remember this: when you are at your weakest, that is when my strength is revealed in its fullest glory. All of heaven is standing behind you, my beloved child. You are not alone in this battle. Even when the world turns against you, even when you are misunderstood, even when your dreams seem buried beneath the dust of time, know this: I, the Almighty, have taken my stand on your side. I do not merely watch from afar. I am in the very midst of the war, the one who has declared battle against everything that seeks to destroy your family. I have broken every generational curse, those words that once chained the generations before you in fear, guilt, and shame. They no longer have power over your lineage, for the blood of the Lamb has testified that you belong to the light. Look around you, my child. Your home may seem quiet, but in the unseen realm I am setting my armies in position. My light is tearing through the veil that has covered minds, and I am calling each one in your household back under my shelter. A new wind is blowing, carrying the freedom your heart has longed for. I am tearing down walls of separation, mending what was broken, and rekindling the flame of true love, the love that does not come from human effort, but from the very source of my life. Do not be afraid when you feel the stirring, for before the dawn breaks, the night is always fiercest. The shaking you are experiencing is not to destroy you, but to purify you. I am sweeping away the dust of the old to make room for the new. What was hidden is now being revealed, not to shame you, but to heal you. For I do not desire to save only your soul. I long to save your whole family, each heart, each generation. I want you to know that I am not the God of one person, but the God of generations, the one who made promises to Abraham, to Isaac, to Jacob, and now to your very bloodline. My child, when I say this is my work, you may rest. For what I begin, no force can stop. I am the Lord, and who can reverse my acts? What I have done, who can undo? Isaiah 4:3-1-3. I am not only working in your present, but also in your future. When you sleep, I am still at work. When you grow weary, I am still fighting. When you feel lost, I am still paving the way before you. Let your faith rest not on what your eyes can see, but on what I have spoken. For every word from my mouth carries within it the power to fulfill itself. Do not look at delay and think I have forgotten. Look instead at my faithfulness and know that I am preparing. You will see in my perfect timing every promise bud and bloom. The doors of blessing will open, and what you once wept over losing will return in a new form, purer, stronger, and more radiant. This is the season when I act not only in you, but through you. I am transforming your home into a point of heaven's contact, a place where my light pours forth, where others enter and feel a peace beyond explanation. Do not underestimate your role in this divine plan. You have been chosen to rise to declare my words, to guard your family through prayer and faith. Pray not from fear, but from the certainty that you are reigning with me. And as you do, my child, the veil between heaven and earth will grow thin. Heaven will answer with signs, with restoration, with peace that flows like a river. The things I promised will no longer belong to a distant future, but will manifest within your very home. For I, the faithful one, will complete all that I have begun. I am also dismantling the distorted patterns the world has planted in your family, false teachings and outdated beliefs that made you forget you were created in my image. I am freeing you from the cycles of silence, where fear once ruled, from the shadows of shame that once silenced prayer in your home. I am rekindling the fire upon your family altar. Everything the darkness has taken, I will reclaim. Every buried promise I will resurrect. Every unanswered prayer I will cause to resound through the heavens. You must understand, my child, that your life is not a random stream of disconnected events. Every breath you take, every step you walk, every person you meet, every door that opens or closes, each one is woven into the careful orchestration of my divine plan. No tear is wasted, no prayer is lost, no pain is forgotten. Every detail, great or small, is being woven into the eternal tapestry of love and purpose. And even when you can only see a tangled fragment of that tapestry, I see the masterpiece, the grand design where every thread meets in harmony, forming a beauty far beyond your understanding. I know there are nights when you bow your head feeling as though your dreams have died and your prayers have become nothing but faint echoes lost in the void. I know there are days when you whisper, "Father, where are you?" while the doors you have knocked on remain closed. Your strength is drained and your heart feels crushed beneath the weight of loss. But my child, believe me, my silence is never punishment, it is preparation. My delay is never neglect, it is formation. Every time I prune, it is not to take away, but to help you bear more fruit. The vine cannot bear fruit unless it is cut back. Pain is not a sign of abandonment, it is evidence that I am working deeper within you. If your eyes could see what mine see, fear would vanish from your soul. You would see that every tear you've shed is becoming dew that waters the harvest to come. You would see that the winding roads are simply my way of leading you away from hidden cliffs. You would understand that what seemed like loss was actually the foundation of something far greater. For in my hands, nothing is ever wasted. I gather every broken fragment of your heart tenderly, carefully, not to discard, but to reshape, to breathe new life into it, so that from the very place of brokenness, the flower of faith may bloom more radiant than ever before. And if you could catch but a glimpse of my grand design, the tapestry woven with threads of joy and sorrow, of tears and laughter, of triumphs and trials, you would rest in peace. You would know that nothing in your life has been meaningless. You would no longer fear tomorrow, for you would realize that tomorrow has already been written by the very hand that loves you beyond all measure. And I am still writing line by line, chapter by chapter, not with ink, but with my eternal love for you. Remember this and carve it deep within your heart. Every time darkness falls, it is not a sign of an ending, but the herald of another divine night approaching. Whenever the night descends, do not fear, for that is when heaven begins to move. When you can no longer hear my voice or feel the warmth of my presence, know that I am nearer than ever, not stepping away, but stepping deeper into your story. My silence is not distance. It is the stillness before the orchestra of the cosmos rises to play a new symphony in your life. I am never truly silent, my child. I am only preparing to come so close that you can feel my heartbeat pulsing in rhythm with yours. There are seasons you will walk through when the light seems to fade away. Prayers go unanswered, plans crumble, relationships fracture, and dreams dissolve like mist. You look around and see darkness closing in, not just around you, but within. You ask, "Father, where are you?" But my child, darkness does not define my presence. Darkness is only the veil I use to hide the movement of my hands. When you cannot see me, that is when I am rewriting your next chapter, one that only light will reveal after the night has passed. I allow the darkness not to frighten you, but to teach you to trust. For true faith is not forged in the light, but in the place where nothing is visible except my promise. It is there that faith matures, where you learn to stand firm even when sight fails. The long night does not come to devour you, but to awaken the eyes of your soul, to show you what your natural eyes cannot, that I am still here moment by moment, breath by trembling breath. I never abandon you in the night. I am the one who created both light and darkness, yet no darkness can ever conceal you from my gaze. When you sit in a silent room thinking your prayers have disappeared into emptiness, know that every word you speak still echoes through the heavens. Every sigh you release does not fall to the ground, it falls into my palm. And when the appointed time arrives, I will enter not with noise or haste, but gently, so that your heart will whisper in awe, you were here all along. I am not silent because I have forgotten you. I am silent because I am preparing what you cannot yet comprehend. I am rearranging the unseen pieces, shifting the atmosphere of the invisible realm, laying each stone for a structure you will soon behold. Like a potter shaping clay in quiet devotion, I am molding you in stillness. I am forming you into the likeness of grace, softening the heart that has hardened under fear and self-defense. And when I finish, you will look back and understand that darkness was never the full stop, it was the opening line of a sacred rebirth. The divine night does not come to make you fall. It comes to bring you to your knees that you might find me there. For sometimes it is only when everything else collapses that you finally lift your eyes and realize I have been the unshakable foundation beneath it all. When the world withdraws from you, I will draw near. When every noise fades, my voice will become clearer than ever before. You will hear me not with your ears, but with your heart. You will feel my breath, not through the wind, but through the peace that seeps into your soul amid the storm. Therefore, when darkness approaches, do not run away. Stand firm. Let that night become your own divine night, the sacred place where you meet me again in silence, where you release all striving and allow me to do what only I can do. Let the light within you be rekindled, not by your own strength, but by the breath of my spirit that ignites it anew. I will turn that night into a new altar of encounter where tears will transform into songs of praise and pain will become living proof of a love that never abandons. You must understand, my child, that the darkest nights often come just before the most radiant dawn. When the shadows seem deepest, it is the sign that light is near. I am coming, not delayed, not out of time. Every moment you wait is not wasted. It is the time I use to prepare your heart, to make it wide enough, deep enough to hold what I am about to pour out. Be patient, for when I arrive, I will not only change your circumstances, I will change you. Darkness is not your enemy. It is the instrument I use to reveal the brilliance of light. And when my light touches the deepest places within you, darkness will vanish like mist before the dawn. You will look back and realize that no night was ever meaningless, for every night, no matter how long, has always led you closer to me. My beloved child, hold your heart steadfast. When you do not understand, remember that I am preparing. When you cannot feel, know that I am still working. When you feel abandoned, believe that I am stepping in. Every time the darkness returns, it is a reminder that I am drawing near, that another divine night is unfolding in your life, the night when heaven once again touches earth and your heart once again touches mine. For I am never silent, my child. I am only preparing to come closer, so near that you no longer need to search for me afar, for I am already here in your breath, in your quiet prayers, in every beat of your heart. And when you finally perceive this truth, darkness will lose its power, because you will know that even in the deepest night, my light still burns, silent, steadfast, and eternal. May the Word of God continually remind you to live each day in His faith and love. Click follow and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the sacred and meaningful messages the Lord longs to speak to you. May God bless you abundantly. Amen.